Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. Jota, and in this longer video, I would like to describe what the next Real Madrid attack might be like if everything goes okay, if everything works, and we can have to Kylian Mbappe on one hand, and on the other hand, to Gareth Bale in one of his best versions of the latest times. I mean, if Real Madrid, according to the latest news and all the information coming out from different newspapers and websites and stuff, if Real Madrid is able to sign both players, I mean, just Kylian Mbappe, and then recover back for the squad to Gareth Bale, which is, in my opinion, something that really depends and relies more on the psychological aspect of the player, more than, in the shape he is, or in the physical condition he is, or even in a contract thing or something like that. If everything goes okay, Real Madrid might put together a super powerful attack that we never seen before since the times of Cristiano Ronaldo and the best Gareth Bale and Kylian Benzema. I mean, Real Madrid might revive this super powerful player attack, or whatever you want to call it. Because if we are able to get these two players and add these two players to the squad for the next season, you have to keep in mind we are putting together players that are able to score up to 20 to 25 or even 40 goals each season. So that way we would go from a couple of seasons, the last 3 seasons, scoring, averaging about 50 to 60 goals per season, all the way up to 80 to 100 goals per season. Because if you think about it, if you get the best Gareth Bale ever, if you get a very committed player, a professional player that really wants to be back on track, that really wants to succeed again in Real Madrid, if you get the best version of Gareth Bale, and if you put him in the lineup right in the left wing, in my opinion, this player is able to score up to 20 to 25 goals per season. If you think about it, if you look at the stats, the last season playing for Tottenham, you have to keep in mind, Gareth Bale came late to Tottenham. It was like 1 month right after the beginning of the season, I think, because he was injured, and then Jose Mourinho had to wait for him like 4 weeks or something like that. And then all the beef and all the problems with Mourinho, he had to stay on the bench for up to 10 games or something like that. Starting all the time starting off the bench and in every single, game. So he really didn't play minutes enough to score more goals. And even with that, he was able to score 16 goals and assist a bunch of times as well. So the importance of Gareth Bale in the attack is essential for Real Madrid, because even being one of the worst versions we've ever seen in Gareth Bale, the last season, he was still better than our wingers. He was still better than Vinicius, Hazard, and Asensio, and he scored more than these 3 players combined. So there's no reason for me to think that Gareth Bale cannot be back on track and be one of the best players of Real Madrid again. So as far as Gareth Bale, if Ancelotti, the main issue Carlo Ancelotti might have with Gareth Bale is a kind of motivation reason, that's it. But if he's able to motivate enough to the player, we can see a very, very top-notch player in our squad. And of course, if all the injuries that he had in the past respect to the player this season, because that is the other the other issue with Gareth Bale. Like, he's a player that is constantly and has to go through multiple injuries during the same season. He struggles with the ankles and stuff. So if he's a little bit lucky, in my opinion, he can do a great job in Real Madrid. That is as far as Gareth Bale. But if we move on and we go ahead and sign Kylian Mbappe, that'd be great. Even greater, even better. Because you are, with a player like Kylian Mbappe in your squad, you can rest assured that you will have a player which is able to score up to 35 to 40 goals right quick in one season, right? So the numbers of Real Madrid when it comes to scoring and things like that would skyrocket in that kind of scenario with these two players, because they are way far more better than the players that we have so far. That the players that we have in the squad right now. I'm referring to, of course, Asensio, Vinicius, and Hazard, Rodrigo, and all these players. And if you add, to top it all, if you add to Karim Benzema, who, in my opinion, right now is in the peak of his career, scoring more goals than ever before, scoring and averaging about 25 to 30 goals per season, you have to keep in mind the company of Karim Benzema will be the best possible. If he still plays as a main striker, main forwarder, and if he is escorted by two of the best players in Europe, Mbappe and Gareth Bale, that way he will be able to score even more, to be even more dangerous and, of course, improve his numbers. We might see a Karim Benzema going from 30 goals per season all the way up to maybe 40 or 45 or something like that. 15 more goals that season. And if you add maybe, I don't know, I don't want to be over optimistic, but in a very moderate prediction, I would say if Kylian Mbappe is able to score about, I don't know, maybe 30 to 35 goals, it's not crazy, and Gareth Bale is able to score 20 goals, you would be going up to 80 goals per season only from three players, without counting on the rest of the players who might score as well. Because this year, as you see, Casemiro scores, and Rafa Varane is able to score. Of course, Militao is able to score. Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Fede Valverde, all these guys can sum up and add more goals to Real Madrid tally. So that way, the attack of Real Madrid, if that happened, that we are able to bring in these two guys, might be great. And we have to be honest at this point. Of course, I like Vinicius Jr. and I would like to see how Vinicius Jr. goes up to the sky, and become the greatest player ever in Real Madrid and things like that. But you have to be honest. Vinicius Jr. has been around for 3 seasons and is still a promising player, but it's not the time to be promising. You have to be already one of the top players in Real Madrid. And that means that 6 goals that he scored last season is not enough. Is not enough at all. And same thing to Marco Asensio, Hazard, and Rodrigo. These players are, okay, but are definitely far from what it was expected for them. You know what I'm saying? So they are very far away from the numbers they were expected to, score or make in the season or things like that. So for Real Madrid, so far, it's been a struggle to score and produce risk and danger and scoring, and goals and things like that. But as of today, if we are able to bring in these two guys, the things might change completely. That would be a total turnaround in the attack of Real Madrid. In that way, we could reach the competitive numbers necessary to become again competitive in Europe. You know what I'm saying? It's not only La Liga, it's also Europe. That is the most important thing for us right now. So let's cross the fingers and see if these guys can come into Real Madrid and play. Now let me know your thoughts about that. Just comment in the section below. And of course, subscribe my channel, Real Madrid Hub.